Hey guys, so today we'll be looking at this assortment of stuff on my table, and if you already read the title of this video, which I assume you did, otherwise you wouldn't be watching it, it's about the Marlinspike Hitch toggle. So in the past, if you've seen some of my previous videos, I've used wall bonnet triangle buckle system, I've used a normal aluminium buckle system. I've also used 3-hole tensioners with my straight 764 suspension, which ends in nothing, just a loop for fun. So I've used all kinds of things, and recently on my last hiking trip, I tried the Marlinspike Hitch with just a little tiny piece of wood stick that I found, and it worked out really well. But the only thing about using sticks is sometimes they bite down around the hitch does bite down and create a bit of a groove in the wood, because the wood that we have over here in the tropics, if it is this small, something like this, it's basically sapling wood and it is quite soft. Unlike the branches of like pines and all that, which are a bit harder, this one actually creates a groove, and sometimes if you want to pull it out from the I know you can jiggle it and all that and it'll come out eventually, but just to slide it out for the sake of ease, it's not that easy. Sometimes you got to pick it apart a bit, and if it's raining and wet, a little bit more inconvenience. So I had these are actually tensioner toggles, line tensioner toggles. I had a few extra in the kit, so I was thinking of using these, and these are actually perfect. So from what I experienced, based on the size of the continuous loop, these are some spare loops that I have from my other hammock, which I modified. So normally the amount of spare free loop at the end of my hammock allows for about this, just 2.5 to 3 inches, I think, something like that. What are we looking at? Yeah, so this is a 2.5. I think max up to 3 inches it would allow for. So that's the length of the toggle I would need, and this thickness is more than sufficient, because if you are familiar with the Marlinspike Hitch, I'll demonstrate after this. Also, for those who are not, the pun intended, I guess, the continuous loop sits on the knot and doesn't sit on the toggle. So the strength of the toggle is not that important, the size is not that important, as long as the MsH, let's just call it that, as long as the MsH is formed properly, the continuous loop will actually sit on the knot itself. So thinking about that, I was thinking of using these, and then I saw that Lixada was selling titanium straws in 12mm diameter for fairly cheap. I think I got this for 19 ringgit, so that would make it like less than $5, maybe $4, and from that I'd be able to get 2 toggles, and I made these toggles 3 inches long. Is it 3 inches? Yeah. So after the straw arrived, this is a 19-inch straw end to end roughly, and if I do this, and it weighs 19 grams, so if I do this 19-inch straw, sorry, it's 19 centimeters long. So if I do this is 7.5. This would weigh, this section logically, by inference, would weigh 7.5 grams. This, on the other hand, weighs 11 grams. So this is 1/3 of an ounce. This is probably 1/4 of an ounce, 1/4 ounce, 1/3 of an ounce. And anybody who has worked with titanium knows that it's not that easy to work with titanium. To cut this, I wouldn't be able to use a hacksaw. I'd have to use an angle grinder. Then I have to do some surface finishing, and I intend to hook it onto the end of my suspension, not to lose it. So I'd have to drill some kind of hole, and I don't know if you watch any of my other videos, but I have mentioned in the past, I don't have a workshop for me to use. So I would have to be making do with whatever I could. And to drill an edge on a small pipe is no simple feat. To drill to drill an edge. To drill a hole on the edge of a small pipe is no simple feat, and to drill into a titanium pipe tube would also not be that easy. So in my mind, I'm actually just going to use this straw to drink bubble tea. And so keeping this away, I'm going to stick with these, give them a shot at least. And as you can see, they already come with holes. So what I can do is, and my suspension comes with holes, I can just do this, and that's not going anywhere. So a Marlinspike hitch is basically a very, very simple knot. So if you can imagine, this goes around the tree over there. You just take your rope, loop it over itself and over the back of the rope. So this is pointing towards your hammock, this is pointing towards the tree. Take a loop, fold it back and over, pick that up and drop this in. And then this is your MsH. So now that you have this in the location of the suspension that you want to use it, you would take your hammock, continuous loop, just drop it over, and that's about it. You just like snug it up in the middle. This, I don't anticipate this being much of a problem because it doesn't need to sit there. So this is supposed to be at the bottom a bit. And that's it. So if you can see, this black rope, go away. This black rope sits on the knot. You can see here, sitting on the rope itself and not on the toggle. If your continuous loop is doing this, that's not good. So that will mean that it's actually depending on the toggle. But this toggle is actually solid aluminium, so I don't see a problem with it taking the load. But the other factor of it sitting on the knot is actually it helps to lock the knot in place and holds it in position. So this would be it. And the MsH doesn't really slip once it's doing this. And so once you're done, and you want to break down camp, I anticipate just basically just popping this off, packing up my hammock, and then I just pull this apart, and the MsH comes apart by itself, and the toggle doesn't get lost. So I think I'm just going to stick with these toggles for now. If I find them to be too short or something like that, then I may have to get this straw back and start working on it. But until such time that I find these inadequate, I'm going to try and use them. If they're too small, I can always just pick up a bigger stick in the woods. I mean, it is called the woods, right? So I'll just pick up a bigger stick and use that as the toggle for that trip. And when I come back, I'll try and use this. But for now, I think these are okay. So I did mention the price of this. So this whole thing was about $4, roughly. I checked the price when I bought this. I bought this in January of 2021. This set came in a set of 5. And I think it was like $2.50 USD for 5. So this is like 50 US cents a piece. So for 11 grams each, I don't think it's too bad actually. Both of them is less than an ounce. It'd be fantastic if I could do this, and both of them be less than half an ounce. But if I ever get down to working and tooling it, I'll share a video about it. But for now, I'm going to just try and use these in my hammock adventures, I guess. And yeah, the Marlinspike hitch is very versatile, very minimalistic system, and it can work with webbing, it can work with 764 line. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't care what line you use, as long as you loop it up the right way and over itself. So yeah, guys, just sharing about my thoughts on the Marlinspike hitch and what to use. If you are looking for this online, they're called 2-hole tensioners or aluminium 2-hole tensioners. And if you're looking for this online, they're called titanium straws. I would suggest you get the 12mm diameter one if you're looking for hollow stock. It's a good size. I would prefer the size to be this, but since this is what I have, I'm just going to stick with this. and if I ever get down to making these, I'll just share it. It won't be, I won't share the fabrication process. Basically cutting this up, drilling a hole somehow, and that's about it. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know in the comments below what you think, if you've used something similar, if you have another option for prefabricated cheap stuff which is light. And always guys, thanks for watching. Cheers.